Let's go. Good to see you. Let me know if you can hear it and see it. Appreciate you. Where are you from, sir? Where are you from? Thank you, Darlene. Rio de Janeiro. My old rich boss used to go there for the women like 5 times a year. He owned a huge oil company. The guy that taught me everything. He used to go on these tours of women. That must have been nice. All right, God bless each other. James Cockman, World News Report today. Today is June 1st, 2025. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a heck of a day as far as getting an internet going, as far as me physically moving. It has been one of the longer days I've remembered having, all due to, believe it or not, the solar or geomagnetic storm, although we were in a solar storm as well. And I will tell y'all or introduce y'all to the difference of each. So not only were we in a geomagnetic storm today, which is what the KP index will tell us, but we were in a solar storm, i.e. protons. Now I just remembered something I wanted to pull up, but we'll get it pulled up in a second. We're going to start out here looking at our KP indexes. These indexes are on the ground around the U.S., and they tell us how much or how strong the solar winds and plasma are. And the brand new updated one that we paid $1.3 million to update, and that NASA and NOAA solely use, is the estimated planetary KP index. Well, we did have 6 hours of a G4 geomagnetic storm. I don't remember the last time we've had that. That was followed by 6 hours of a G3 geomagnetic storm, these two here. And we also, in fact, had, I believe, let's see here, these, yes. So 12 hours of a G1 geomagnetic storm. So it's been all over the charts. Now that's just using our estimated planetary KP index. You can see that they all differ based on where they're located, how much solar wind and plasma they're picking up. You can see that most all of the day, the Boulder KP index has, well, it did hit a, let's see, 6 to 7 G4. The easiest way to look at it is use this, right? All you can do is use the colors here. G4, 6 hours, 6 hours of G3, KP7. And I don't know if there were any hours of a G2 storm. These are all going to be G1 storms for 12 hours. Now we had this break here for 3 hours, which is really amazing. They are expecting more geomagnetic storms inbound, which is even more amazing to me. Even more amazing. The problem, I couldn't get started because I couldn't get an internet feed. It is busy out there. A lot of radio alternation, and the later it gets, obviously, the better it is for the people on the dark side of the sun, of the Earth, dark side of the Earth. Our radio degradation is not as strong now that we're not Earth facing. I wasn't able to even get online today because I don't think we've seen 6 hours of a G4 8 to 9 geomagnetic storm. Not that I can remember. I do remember seeing 3 hours of a G4, but never 6 hours, especially followed by 6 more hours of a G3, right? It's been some tough stuff. Tell me, did anyone else feel it today, or was it just me? Did anyone else feel like their ass got whipped and rolled over by a bus, or was it just me? It might have just been just me, but it was also the internet. I couldn't get flying on the internet. All right. This is just, us checking our work, as we always do. And we're checking it with spaceweatherlive.com. You can see the 6 hours here, G4, 6 hours here, G3. There were no G2s all day long. Isn't that so weird? There's the explosion that led to it, right? So weird. It's very, very weird. Figured I'd bring us right over into, and I'm going to actually update this a little bit. Hey, Tiff. Hey, Mark. Hey, PJ. Darlene, thank you as always for helping us. We played 2 grids, one last night, one this morning. We're exhausted. You play. What kind of music do you play? Let me tell you, guys, I could barely move. I felt like I got hit by a train. And regularly, it's not that bad on me. But today was something special. Look at our shields disintegrate today. They went to the south, and that's really, really huge. Bad news. You can kind of line that up with the G4s, right? The weird thing is we have G4s in our forecast. That's the weird thing. I don't know where they're going to be coming from. Let's take a look at what we had. We had our shields up at first. We didn't have extreme geomagnetic storms with our shields up. Seems to fend this off. Then, look, our plasma, I don't think it ever went above 10 centimeters cubed. It did in 9.82, and we'll check that with ACE. But all these dots here, none of them went into space weather territory. And this was supposed to be a coronal mass ejection, which is plasma. Plasma. That's one of the 4 states of matter. So we have, of course, liquid, solid, gaseous state, and plasma, kind of in between solid and gaseous state, right? And, well, let me say, we didn't see any CME, coronal mass ejection, i.e. plasma, hit Earth like it was supposed to. This was supposed to be a CME, coronal mass ejection, which is made up of mostly plasma, and that was supposed to be from that long-term 4.5-hour M8.2 flare we saw the other day. What did we see? We saw some of the strongest solar winds. They had actually clocked them at over 4.3 million miles an hour, according to NASA, not me. And we didn't see anything. If that would have hit Earth, I don't think that any of us would be speaking right now whatsoever. So I think this is the very first time. Let's see if we can get an 1100. The very first time there's a 1095 I've ever seen the solar winds come up to 1100 And this is our Discover satellite. So it's about 54 minutes in orbit. In other words, after it hits the satellite, it takes 54 minutes for this space weather, although it doesn't change much in 54 minutes. And that can, obviously it was quicker than that this time because the winds were at 1,100 kilometers per second. Now, this should have lit up like a Christmas tree. The question is look at the plasma, 1.02. There is no explaining this whatsoever. And then when our shields go down, you think the plasma would really get going? The plasma drops to almost zero. Now I'm going to show you all that something is coming from the other side of our sun today. Really bothersome. So we're almost getting pancaked. I guess that would be the best word, pancaked, in between this, what should have been a mild solar storm, right? An M8.3 or 2, and whatever is creating, let's call them cosmic winds or space winds instead of solar winds, because I don't know if it's a black hole, a rogue planet, a rogue star, a binary star. I don't know, just like you don't know. Someone told me that one of the channels, several of the channels, have a planet on the other side of the sun. Well, that would not be in the right place for what's going on here, okay? But look, we never had plasma go up above 10 centimeters cubed, which is the space weather threshold. But we got into a G4 geomagnetic storm. Y'all catching it? Strange stuff, guys. All right. And we saw the solar winds really outdid themselves. Look, 11:15. I'm thinking that's the highest I've ever seen it. Look how hot the wind was to start the day, or the solar winds and plasma. And they should be moving with plasma, and they do. As plasma moves down, they move down. They move down to pretty much a normal situation now. Although we just had a bump in the story, and they've actually forecasted, FYI, more, not less, solar winds. Now, I did want to. I have this up. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Look here. Oh, nope. They took the forecast out. Yeah. About 10 minutes ago, they had still forecasted major geomagnetic storms. We'll see what they have here. Get this a little smaller so it makes sense. All right. Look. So look. Here they've added the forecast back in. Look, they've added the forecast back in. Y'all saw it, same as me. They're looking for more G4s. We're looking at 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 hours. Only to be hit again. Now, y'all gonna have to teach me what's gonna hit us again. We did have those 2 small M flares after that 8.2, but poof. I guess our shields are worn out, man. Now, this is what I mean that we were in a solar storm. This is called a solar storm, an S2 solar storm. I think I've seen an S3, never an S4 or 5 solar storm. This has to do with protons raining down on Earth, i.e., yes, you called it X-rays, James, X-rays. And these are deadly for humans and all living plant matter and plants, all living organisms for that matter. So we went in and we touched a 2 here. Did we touch a 3? Damn, we got close to getting a S3. That would have been something I've never seen before in my life. And I like how they line it up here with the KP index below it. So what are we expecting? Tomorrow to be just as bad as today. That's what we're expecting. I'm so glad I could get online, guys. It took me an hour and a half to get online. Hour and a half. But you know me. I don't give up. I don't give in. I really appreciate the cups of coffee that you guys bought for me last night. Whoa, that's Microsoft trying to take over. Really appreciate the cups of coffee that everyone bought for us last night. And if you'll have it in your budget, a cup of coffee always helps the channel make the expenses. All right. We got a long way to go, but a short time to get there? No, we got plenty of time. Whoa, we have two things that we messed up on here. But we will show you guys one way or another. A few things I forgot to pull up is what I mean by messed up. So this is our current sun. Where'd all that coronal hole shit go? It just disappeared. We've got, I believe, 2 delta sunspots, but we'll see real soon what they look like. And we have a light coronal hole. This is GOES solar ultraviolet imagery at 195 angstroms here over a 1 hour period. The last hour, by the way. Take a look at LASCO. See if they show us that it's going to be after the big flare. It looks like an impact on the camera. So not a lot going on there. What I'm guessing is yes, we're still in what's called a polar cap absorption event. This is where our protons are ionized and sneaking through the holes that aren't protected on our north and south poles. That's how all the radiation leaks in. You can see it covers most of Canada. I mean, y'all were just about fried up there. I'm not even kidding. Just about fried in Canada. The U.S. kind of got off the hook, and most of the globe got off the hook here. We'll play it through, but nothing really happened today. You can see that the South Pole also, with our shields up. Wow, look at Canada, basically getting fried. Y'all need to actually put aluminum foil in your baseball caps and think about some aluminum foil. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I've shown y'all so many times with my EMF, ULF, and geomagnetic meters. Look at that. Look at that. Just turned red. That was just a little impact of a nothing. Look at that. Of a nothing. Right there. That was a little impact. Look at the radio alternation here. I mean, I couldn't get a signal, guys. I couldn't even work today, right? Couldn't even put out some of the stories I wanted to put out so bad. And now tomorrow looks like the same. I don't know. Who's coming? Who's going? We're going to check our work here using our ACE. This is going to be our ACE. Our ACE satellite, the older one, the Discovery replaced, but it's still running, thank God. We can determine now that no plasma went over 10 centimeters cubed, although it's the highest it's been right now. Then we can also see that we had very elevated temperatures to start the day, and those have come down into a normal range, although now they're headed back up. I just want to know what's making them head back up, because we ain't got nothing to stimulate this little project. This is what we've got. This was the shit show here. We could be looking at this spike right here, but then what do? Then what do? Let's say we're looking at this spike right here, which is, generally about 17, 18 hours after this mess up here. Before that, there was nothing that was going to cause any problems. All day long today, we didn't even have an M flare. So why is NASA looking for another entire day of a geomagnetic storm? And I want to explain to y'all, what is the difference between a geomagnetic storm and a solar storm? So that I will do right now real quickly if I can. So a solar storm is this. This is a solar storm. Goes protons. These are protons. Now we're hanging on. Looks like we're trying to get bumped up into that space weather threshold. 10 million volts of electricity. It looks like we almost made that 3. Let's see what we got. Look, 666. Can you come up with another number but 666? And it stopped at 666. This is where the rubber meets the pavement, okay? This is a problem here. This is a solar storm, not a geomagnetic storm. And this kills all living things. I love how it went to a 666 million volts, which is 2.666 actually. So 26 million volts of electricity were hitting Earth. And how'd y'all feel it? Y'all realize that we're only electrical beings, right? Every time I move my hand, electrical signals send impulses to my muscles and to my tendons. So we are a computer, if you like it or not. They just never want to tell you we are. We're 100% electrical. Look, you find the tippy tip, as Trump would put it. I don't even know if we'll be able to get 666 again. That was crazy. So we're just getting out of what's called a solar storm. This was an S2 above this line, almost an S3. This was always an S1 that started yesterday. Solar storm, we just dropped below the space weather threshold. All right, so that's a solar storm. So what is a geomagnetic storm, James? Well, real quick, just food for thought. I'm going to pull up. I want to tell you, obviously a geomagnetic storm is going to be the solar winds and plasma. The protons, this happened almost exactly after the big flare happened. It takes seconds to get here. They said that it lifted off at 4.3 million miles an hour, 93 million miles to go. Y'all can do the math real quick. Less than 22 hours, something like that. And now we're out of the solar storm. This is S2 to S nothing. But a geomagnetic storm is just going to be the solar winds and plasma that hit us, which usually takes anywhere from, more time than that, okay? More time than that. All right, so you can see today, it's almost like the sun let go of everything it was holding, and let's hope it stays this way. We're actually in a B baseline right now, believe it or not. A B baseline. Look at this. A B 9.6, which is mind-boggling to me. M8 was the big flare that caused all the problems less than 72 hours ago. That's how fast it was moving, right? Isn't that funny how the X flare didn't do crap, but once that M flare, long-term M flare hit, whew, the party was on. Today we had very little activity. Look at these, all C flares, all out of 4100. The other thing to notice here is 4100 is now beta gamma. It's no longer a delta sunspot. See how it's orange instead of red? That's your dead giveaway, right? So, a 15% chance of X-class solar flares today. And I see why they've downgraded 4100 to beta gamma. A 65% chance of M-class solar flares. And a 99% chance of C-class solar flares, which again, we have lost our C baseline. Crazy stuff. All right, let's get a good look at what's going on. So both 4100 and 4099 have turned into beta gamma sunspots. So what does that tell us? That tells us that they have relaxed a bit, although they're basically Earth-facing still, and they could become more complex overnight. We have a total of 5 sunspots Earth-facing, 3 simple, 2 beta gammas. I believe both these were delta sunspots yesterday. We'll leave that up because we might need it. And this was taken way before that, 4100. Absolutely huge sunspot, 4099. And then our other 3 sunspots to make up a total of 5 sunspots. Imagine when we have 13 sunspots, nothing happens. But when we have 4 or 5, we have, I would call this the worst geomagnetic storm, especially if it goes through tomorrow, that we have seen in the last 10 plus years. All right, so we got here. Well, we have that there. All right, so that you guys know, everything that you're seeing is happening on this side of the sun. We have a sunspot that started to form here, 2025, and we have some smaller sunspots that shouldn't really bother us at this point. So 2025 FS. Now, that's not the name of it. I just don't have it pulled up to the right. It is 25. I got lucky, look. And we have 3 other sunspot groups, not sunspots, I should say that correctly. 022 in green, about to come around the limb. This was taken a day and a half ago, so that should be coming around the limb. 024, 2 tiny, can we call that? We can't call that purple. Pink, we'll use pink. And then 026 coming around here as well. And they're not very visible on Gong, and they're even harder to see here on AIA. So it's ridiculous that we don't have a satellite on the backside of the sun right now, although we really always do. They just lied to us. They don't want us to see what's coming around the limb. 4100, 4099. You can see that this sunspot is actually reverse polarity, black over white, coming around the limb. She'll be coming around the limb when she comes. So, this is a decent sized sunspot, and it was giving us a lot of trouble here, but these are still more than in play here. Just because they're beta gamma now means absolutely nothing. at any point, well, we saw a simple sunspot produce an X flare last week, so, or 4 days ago. So these are huge, ugly sunspots. We do see what we're looking for here: white over black in the northern hemisphere and black over white in the southern hemisphere, which makes everything a little bit less dynamic. All right, does that guy look like he's laughing at us or what? I don't know. Let's see if they updated it. This is still from the 26th. How can NASA not update something from the 26th? This is from just now. Yeah, it's from the 2nd of June. Why are they not updating SOHO? This is so strange. I'm grabbing them off the same deal here. And this ship has sailed. This is probably the Sunspot 4100 right here. That's probably 4099 right there. All right, we got weird stuff happening here. I'll show you. These are our pressure variants. We have the same pressure around Earth, but there was no bow shock. Now, with winds like that, we should have a bow shock out here like there's no tomorrow. But the whole Earth is encompassed in pressure, like it's coming from both sides. And eventually, there is a bow shock that comes into play, but I shouldn't have to be going 10 hours into the day before I can find a bow shock, right? Look at the rear, look at the backside. All that pressure hitting the backside. Here is Earth here. The white and black ball is Earth. The gray area around that is our atmosphere. We're moving to the left here. Supposedly moving to the left at 67,000 miles an hour. Also moving directly at you at 544,000 miles an hour. So that's not good. We would think that we'd see a bow shock because, there comes our first bow shock right there. Amazing. That's our first bow shock, and then it disappears again. Now, the bow shock should be here all day long with winds up at 900, 1100 kilometers per hour. Where should the pressure be showing? Where should the bow shock be? I think we all know it should be right here, but it's not. It more so looks like it's behind Earth. Right? Let's see if I got the right one pulled up. I do. And then we look behind Earth. These winds are coming in at over 1.4 million miles an hour. Earth's moving to the left at 67,000 miles an hour. Also moving at you at 544,000 miles an hour. What are causing these winds? Off the charts. Off the charts. Completely off the charts here. What are causing these winds? Unbelievable. Completely unbelievable. And these winds are spinning right by Earth and causing all that atmospheric pressure and density on the back side of Earth. Remember, Earth's a little white and red dot. The gray part is our atmosphere. So it makes little to no sense whatsoever. All right. Hey, Crafts. All right, so they have never come back. It's Sunday. I mean, once they close the shop in Europe and Canada, there is no getting them back to work no matter what the deal is, guys. No getting them back to work, period. And this pretty much proves that point. They haven't updated this since Thursday of last week. especially with all that going on. Wouldn't you think they would update it? I would think so. And it's just an overall view of where we are today, the planets today. And what do we see here? Well, we don't see much of anything, really. We have a line of planets through Saturn, Neptune, Venus, and Earth. We don't really have anything directly opposing. The moon's flanked on our side. We all know that it needs to be in front or behind to cause the real havoc. So, kind of at a loss there. And I guess that's about it. It's been a hell of a day. It's going to be a hell of a tomorrow. Hope everyone makes it through. God bless you guys. Is there anything I missed? Mike Johnson, congratulations on top 10. Hey, Miss Fisher. Hey, Ryan. How are you, sir? Right now it was so hard to get online. Can I show them, B&D? Do I need to go through all the protocols? Protocols gone through. I heard about the massive mystery object. Check that out for sure. All right, B&D. I'm going to let you take it away after I turn this back on. Display, transition, boom. Tell us what we're seeing. Looks like the sunset in the west or sunrise. To me, B&D, I'm going to leave this up to you in the chat. Give it a few seconds or minutes because I know it does take a second, all right? Well, we always appreciate any efforts. It's a beautiful picture. Sunset. Okay. Well, pretty much the same. So you are saying that the sun is a different color than you used to seeing it. Am I right? Is that what the deal is? All right, well, let me know what the deal is. And I can see that's a whole lot of brightness going on, right? A whole lot of brightness going on. Can y'all see the picture? Is everything okay and clear? Yeah, I think, like Mark says, we've seen so much smoke coming out of Canada. I don't know where you live, but if you live in Canada anywhere or any of the north, and I mean any of the north, you are covered with smoke, which is making the sun appear to be more orange than it usually does. There's more smoke right now in the atmosphere than I've seen. We'll do a quick, just because I love you guys, quick look to make sure there's nothing crazy going on. I did see all that crazy stuff going on over at Fukushima. I was so mad. Looks like the Earth is pretty calm right now. It won't be here in a few moments, or I guess 24 hours. Take a look at the Schumann resonance. Schumann's pretty much clean for the day. We had this happen event today, but I'm guessing that was a thunderstorm as usual. And let's see. We will follow that up real quick. I do have the GOES maps with all the smoke on them, but it'll just take me a second to find them, and I know y'all don't have any seconds. So what we will do is take a look at two things. Take a look at the fires, and we'll take a look at the air quality here if we can find it. Right. Now, I did see my NASA stuff that I could get y'all the smoke pictures, but this should pretty much do it for y'all. Look at that air quality, especially coming down from Canada. Look at this. And we must be having fires over in Atlanta. It looked like we were having fires yesterday. Probably the worst air quality I've ever seen. That would be a guess. Probably the worst I've ever seen, though. So, y'all keep that in mind. Air quality is less than breathable. The valley is swamped. But the Central Plains, and for some reason, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, look at Florida, all those fires down there. All those fires down there. And we will right. Almost contained, but it's right there on the U.S. border. These are all big fires in Canada. You can see we have one big fire around Wawa Springs here. We'll pick it up. Almost contained as well. One big fire south of Lake Tahoe, almost contained as well. And another one almost contained as well. Our big problem is this area here. And remember, this is just June. It's going to get a whole lot worse, unfortunately. So, with that said, God bless each and every one of you guys. Please share our videos. Please subscribe if you haven't. Hit the button, the notification button, so y'all get notifications. And I'll try to get back at it as soon as we have a good internet connection. God bless each and every one of y'all. If y'all can help the channel, please buy the channel a cup of coffee. The channel thanks you. I thank you. God bless you. Remember, together, anything's possible in Bizarro World. Love you, Donna.